Hi everyone, welcome to Share and Review. Like I said on Tuesday, today we're going to take a look at channel infrastructure. And the reason I've chosen channel infrastructure is because it was recently a new addition to the portfolio trading signal set I do. And I thought I would take you through the exact methodology that I use when I'm selecting shares. And these are also the same methodology that I use for anyone that subscribes to my share trading signal service. Remember, this is education only. It's certainly not personalized advice or anything of that nature. Even with the share trading signals, they're not personalized advice. It's just cutting down the noise and reducing the selections that are available to you if you would like to look at some shares to invest in. Obviously, you do need to do further research of your own, but it is just using the methodology that I use. So let's jump across. Right, I've got channel infrastructure up here on the screen. Now, when I first look at buying into a share, I want to make sure that the overall market is trading above the 30-week exponential moving average. And if you watched Tuesday's video, the New Zealand market is already doing that, which is a great signal. I also wanted to check that the overall market, so again, the NZSX 50, is showing less than 5% volatility. And so that's simply the ATR over a 21-week period, and divided by the price of the market. So I've only got channel infrastructure up on here. I haven't got the NZSX 50, but go back and watch Tuesday's video, and that talks about that methodology that I use. Right, what I then want to do is I put on the NZSX 50, and I want to make a comparison, in this case, against channel infrastructure. And this blue line down the bottom is the New Zealand market, and obviously above it is exactly where channel infrastructure is trading. I want to make sure, and these are weekly candles, I've got it over a 2-year period. I want to make sure that, in this case, channel infrastructure has been trading above the NZSX 50 for at least 5 weeks. And you can see that it's been trading above there consistently since, it's well over 12 months, getting close to 2 years, even August 2022. So that's another tick forward for me. Let's take that off. I then put on the moving averages. And for those that watch, I use 30-week, and we can see there that the market is trading above the 30-week exponential moving average. Okay, and I also want to make sure that it is trading above that for the day. So I click on the interval here, and as you can see, I've got 1 week. I will click on and put day. And okay, this was last week that I did this. So we've had several, obviously 5 days worth of trading appear there, but it has been trading above that 30-day moving average, which is another positive sign. Take it back to the weekly. I now want to see that the moving average, the 15, change it to the 15 period exponential moving average, change the color. I want to see that that too has what we refer to formed a golden cross. And you can see that that has, so that was where the 15-week moving average has crossed through the 30-week. And that did that back in about April this year. Again, that's another positive indicator for me that I use. Excuse me. The next thing that I want to check is that the share has been making basically a new 70-day high, not a 30. And when I entered this trade, that was the candle I was looking at. Okay, even though it was a red candle, which was back on the 2nd of June, but it was certainly up making a 70-day high. So that is another indicator, because the last time it got up to there was back in September 2023. I also want to make sure that the share is actually making higher highs. As you can see through this whole period, basically since March this year, the share on the whole has been slowly creeping higher. So that is something else that I want to look out for. We don't have a lot of volume on the New Zealand market, so that is something that does make share selection a little bit more difficult for me. But except here where we've had a big sell-off day. Other than that, there's not a lot of volume in a lot of our shares, especially even though channel infrastructure is on the main board. It's still a relatively small company, especially when you compare it to the likes of some of the bigger, perhaps utility companies or Spark. So we don't see a lot of volume, but there are some good positive candles, which is what we want. Now down the bottom here, you can see I've got the MACD on here, and I've got the 15, 30, and 10 periods on the chart. So what the MACD stands for, it's the moving average convergence divergence. And it's what the reason I do pop it on, and it's a latter indicator that I will look at. When I'm going into a share, I want to see that these moving average lines are actually reflecting what's happening above in the chart. And I also want to see that these bar lines, if you like, are also matching that. So obviously the red ones is when the market is closing down or the share's going down, and the green ones is when it's going up. Now, sometimes you can have what we refer to as divergence around here, and that is when the chart can be going, the bar chart can be going down below, but the shares are actually still moving up. And that is when you have divergence. And that's the only reason I look at that MACD signal, is I want to make sure that that is looking positive, and so is the performance of the share chart. And the question that did come up was, why do I not use the MACD on its own? Hey, it's a great tool. It's one that I use in conjunction with, but it's like any indicators or any tools that are available. Stick with what you know and stick with what you like, and don't go and chop and change. Okay, for me, it's a very much a latter indicator in my stock selection, but there are other people who use that as one of the primary indicators, and they're very, very successful at it. So it's about using the indicator that is most important for you. Okay, the next one that I also look at is the RSI. So we'll pop that on, which stands for Relative Strength Indicator. And I always use a 10 period for this one. Now for the RSI, so it's basically a relative strength indicator, and it's just saying how much buying versus how much selling is going on. And you have an 80 points if it's oversold, or a 80 points if it's overbought, and 20 points if it's oversold. So currently Channel Infrastructure is trading at around that 61 points, which means it is sort of, there's a lot more buying out there than what there is selling. So again, that's an indicator I only want to see. I like to see that it is up towards the overbought area. Overbought does not necessarily mean something is going to sell, because even if you look through this period here, it was really, really high. Okay, that was through July last year, and the shares still kept trading up. Okay, and then obviously we did come down a bit, but that is something I do like it for the fact that I want to make sure that people are interested in buying this share, and that it is indicating upwards, which it still is, and obviously that too is reflected in the share price. Again, it's one of my latter selections. It's indicators for a share selection. It's not one of my primary ones, but it is just one of the many tick boxes that I use. A really, really bullish sign in a share, and this one didn't tend to do it. I'll just take that RSI off. This one did it momentarily, is where you get a gap. Okay, and you can see that here from July last year, and then the following week, so that was 2nd of July to the 9th of July, we had a gap. And that happens where there is trading after hours, either after the market's closed, there's still orders being put into the market, and also prior to the market opening, in this case, in the following week. And because there's a gap like that, that is usually a very strong bullish indicator. And it was followed by another rising week, obviously, before we had a bit of a sell-off. Okay. Also a thing that is a good indicator is when a share is reaching new highs. And you can see back early on here, if I put my cursor on, it's going to hide it, but you can see at the start here, the shares kept trading up, and it kept reaching new highs. That was through the later part of 2022, when we went through a sideways band. We jumped up, and obviously we've come off a bit, but now we're starting to see a nice continuous upward trajectory. Now, shares are always going to take a breather, as I refer to it, and that is where you do see a red candle. We can't keep breathing out forever and keep going on, so neither can a share. And something else I do look at is I want to see that it's really simple, but I want to see that there's more green candles on a chart than red ones, which we've definitely got here for Channel Infrastructure. So I've stopped sharing. So that's basically what I go through every week when I'm looking at indicating which shares are perhaps going to be appropriate for my portfolio. And like I say, they're the same signals that I use for when I put out in the trading signal platform or service that I'm able to offer for people. So I hope that helps. If there's anything else you'd like to know, by all means come to me, ask. Happy to do a video on it and educate people. That's what I love, the share market. I love investing. I've been doing it for years and I love it. And I know there are a lot of people out there that want to learn, and that's what I'm here to do as well. So by all means, pop your comments in the chat box, and we'll address them. And same goes with if there's any shares that you'd like me to review. Happy to do that for you as well. So in the meantime, have a great day and great weekend. We'll chat soon. Thank you.